You'll also find him here in the studio on Tuesday mornings at 8:35.
Yeah, that's the one time I know where to find myself. Tuesday mornings at 8:35, or later if I keep getting caught,
or in the mirror.
Yeah. Oh no, I avoid those. Like actually, I don't see my reflection.
Oh no.
Vampire. Hope you got your garlic candy, buddy.
I don't, but I've got some strong coffee.
There you go. There you go.
So, good policies. We talk about insurance, and insurance isn't just your autos. It isn't just your homes. It isn't just renters. It isn't just your business. It's all inclusive. It's all of that. And Mike, we've had some great chats in our time here.
Well, I appreciate you labeling them as good chats.
Well, they are. They're great chats. I mean, they're good enough so that if somebody misses them or they come in halfway through, they can always head to your website and watch them, listen to them.
Right.
Listen to them.
Yeah.
So the real estate market has really gone nuts here the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like homes that were valued at $85,000, people saying, no way, houses that never sold for $85,000.
Yeah.
Well, they did.
They did. Yeah.
But now.
And the people who bought them for $85,000 who sold them recently are probably pretty darn happy.
Well, yeah, because they probably sold it for $150,000. Yeah. Now, this isn't what the conversation is about, but what the conversation is about is your insurance on these houses and how the insurance company will handle it if you have to file a claim, right?
Yeah. We're going to talk about property value and not property value. That's the inappropriate way of describing it. Property value is what the town uses, considering land and everything. So building value, all right? Talk to any builder. Talk to any company that sells materials. So whether it be Wheelers, Lindenville Hardware, Lowe's, Home Depot, Larrabee's and Danville, naming the ones that service our area the most, talk to them. Talk to them. If you're gonna say, what's the cost of materials these days? First off, there's probably going to be an expression on their face that's undescribable.
Let me see if I can guess where you're going with this, because I went with my friend Brian a few months back over to one of the big box stores, and he was looking to buy some plywood.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. A single sheet of low-quality plywood back in February was around $65.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think where you're going with this here is, because we've had this conversation in the past, I do have a couple of brain cells.
Nice. Me too.
The cost to repair a home or to replace damage to a home has skyrocketed.
It's unbelievable. I still have a hard time accepting it myself. I'm not going to lie. But I keep going to these conferences. I keep going to these events and talking to people. And it is as real as real can be. The cost for a square footage to build or rebuild a home. And there's probably a few contractors out there that may agree with me, some that may think I'm crazy, but and I know there's some out there listening, so don't text me while I'm on the air. But or you can, and it'd be funny. But if you were to throw a dart at the dartboard, if you're trying to hit a bullseye at a cost per square foot, it probably was averaging of around $160, $170 a square foot for many years. Many years. You didn't see a lot of flex there because there wasn't a lot of trauma going on in the world. Now you're probably looking at $225 plus, $225 a square foot or higher, which I tend to lean higher. Some companies tend to lean even higher than I do. But if you talk to enough contractors who are out there doing the jobs, they'll back up that valuation. So what that's leading me to is, don't get caught in this position of choosing whether you want replacement cost or actual cash value, because I think a lot of people are getting to that crossroad, right? Because if you have a big building and you're telling me that the building that I bought for $179,000 needs to be insured for $750,000, I'm going to ask you to buy it first and foremost. But that's never going to be the same number. Market value and the cost to rebuild or replace is always going to be a completely different value because it's based on different metrics.
Now, I just want to jump in. That example you used was a $600,000 difference. Now, I'm sure it may not be quite that big, but there is obviously some disparity from then to now.
There really are. There really are. Houses that you buy for $200,000 are probably being insured for almost $500,000. And that's the trend that continues. Even though the real estate market has blown up and it's starting to come down with the spike in interest rates, we are starting to see a dip in the real estate sales. Plus, it's the natural end of the year where it's getting colder out. People are less likely to put up. The market's getting smaller, but Neither here nor there. You've often been able to buy a house for a lot less per square foot than it would to be to build. But here's the pickle that I don't want you to be in, all right? Stay at a replacement cost. I know it's going to be a hard pill to swallow, but make sure you're insuring for the true value to replace the property or the building you have. And the reason why is that actual cash value versus replacement cost is impactful on many, all right? Why am I leaning there? Well, actual cash value is available on many policies, but there is also the factor of the woulda, shoulda, coulda, where you should have been insured at 100% of replacement cost, but you're not. So now they're going to settle this on some kind of an actual cash value or some kind of a penalty way of dealing with a claim. So, let's say you have, and this is most impactful on certainly small losses. Say you have a $100,000 loss to your home, whether it be a kitchen fire or puff back from a smoke or what have you. The company could come in and say, well, yeah, it's $100,000, but you're not insured at replacement cost. So we're going to have to settle this with depreciation. So your house is this old, it's in this condition, and they're going to start factoring in ways to pay less. And that's contractually in there. They have their means to do that. Don't let that happen. Stay at a replacement cost where they're not going to be putting a penalty, and it's going to be settled in replacement costs for partial and for total losses.
Now, our understanding is that someone would choose the ACV, the actual cash value replacement, because it would make their premium go down.
In some ways, yeah. But you have to, if you're saving $200 or $300 a year versus having a claim pay $25,000 less than what it should have, where's your leverage there, right? You're leveraging costs and coverage, right? That's the game that we play. And there are times maybe ACV makes sense. Many people will look at me and say, look, this is a 1900s farmhouse. I'm never going to rebuild this. Never. That may be very true, but if you have a kitchen fire, you're certainly going to want your kitchen back without having to take a loan out.
I mean, we would all like to think that $68 sheet of plywood is going to go back down to $32.
Yeah, I hope so.
But now, see, let's go.
I started making my own plywood. It's cheaper.
Devil's advocate here, okay?
That's right.
So let's say that does go down. In November of next year, you have a loss, okay? Yeah. If you went for replacement cost, it would actually end up helping you because the price of goods is down, so you'll be able to have more repairs done for the same buck, right?
Well, we're talking about indemnification, which the definition of that is to get you back to whole, get you back to what you had. So we're not going to better your situation, but we are going to get you back what you had. And replacement cost is the best way to do it on a home and a commercial building, because that's going to allow you to bring it back to where it was. If you see many people who maybe can't rebuild their homes, it may be because they were in that situation where they didn't have the appropriate replacement cost or hitting the appropriate replacement value for their home. It's just an ugly situation right now. It's one that actually keeps me up at night right now, because I've seen houses that I used to insure for $500,000 that I'm recalculating right now, and I'm like, $725? I got to do it again. $725 again. I mean, I'm quadruple checking many times, because we do use valuation systems to determine this. So it's not like we're just pulling a number out of thin air. It's based on the metrics and the statistical data available.
All right. So my takeaway on this is there's always confusion about cost versus value. For example, a car. I had that 87 Porsche. To me, it was worth its weight in gold. The actual book value, $12,000. Somebody got it for $5,000.
Yeah. Then that's it. I mean, it's about proper coverage for your situation. If you have a 1967 whatever, that 1967 whatever may be worth $50,000, and you're going to want to make sure you're with a company that's going to insure it for that, versus just putting it on a regular auto policy, and they'll say, well, actual cash value on that's pretty moot right now.
Yeah, so $8,500.
Yeah. So,
all right. Contact for Barrett Insurance.
748-5224 is our phone number. You can find us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online, thebarrettagency.com, Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency.
And every Tuesday morning at 8:35 right here in the Magic Studios. You stay bundled up and enjoy the autumn colors, my friend.
You as well.
We head back to the music with Halsey.